Coffee is always the priority. I tend to set it up at night, but this time I forgot to plug it in. It could definitely be a different type of trip without a dog, but I honestly can't even imagine it. She's just, my dog here is Greta, and she is great company. She tends to come first because she needs her water, food, and definitely her potty breaks first thing in the morning. She's such a good girl. It's actually pretty helpful. It gets me outside, even though that's the goal of camping and doing these different trips in different places. She still gets me out and makes me find trails and hike and find water, whether it's a lake or a creek or something along the way, because she loves it so much. It's just a way that it gives her what she needs and ultimately what I need too. I can't say she wakes me up any earlier than I would get up typically. She usually waits for me, and if not, even in the van, she may climb down from her lower bunk there and go up to the front seat to look out the windows because I don't have them covered when it's kind of neutral out as far as the weather, and I can usually feel her shift. I can feel her jump down and then jump up in the front. The van kind of moves a little bit, and if I'm not up yet, I'm up then, but there's definitely a different piece of sense of security when she's with me because I know she hears and sees things that I don't. This bus is actually, I believe, a 38-foot bus that is a gal that showed up last night with Sisters on the Fly. And I'm excited today because there is a van tour scheduled for 10:30 to start so that we can see each other's campers. I'm pretty excited, especially for this yellow and white vintage replica. Actually, it is actually a 2015 camper made to look like one from the 60s. I can't remember the exact year that the owner told me about, but I'm excited to see inside of it. I think everyone's kind of keeping things a secret until that tour happens. And some come in their tents, which is gotta be dedication, especially when it's as windy as it has been here. I'm definitely a person that likes my comforts of the van. The winter definitely has a different set of clothes that I need, especially the coats, the gloves, the scarves, and things like that. And I didn't bring most of them this time, but it definitely takes up a lot more space than a summer trip would. I'm moving kind of slow this morning. Maybe every morning in the van. There's just not a rush to do anything, especially after Greta's been walked. There's no rush. I think maybe the strangest thing about getting up when I'm in the van is that I don't have a TV. And absolutely, I have my phone. I have my phone that I can turn on and watch YouTube and things, but it requires me to search for something to watch and get it going and what have you. But it'd be nice to just have a remote where I can just turn on the news and not think about what I'm watching, just to have a sound. That would be nice. Instead, this is my setup. I just had my tripod resting here on my sink. I have a magnetic holder right here that I put my phone on. And this is the strange little, when I had an actual faucet on the sink, it needed to be raised a little bit. So this was There's a hole here. That's where the faucet was. And of course it is like construction grade adhesive glued to this, so it's fine. It stays and it's not a big problem. I was actually going to put my USB water thing through there, which would have worked okay, only it was also too low. So then it was another thing of like how to get it raised up, and it works better over there. You don't see it much. I could have used a little more coffee with my cream. So all I've really done in my sink this week is brush my teeth, because I've been using my face wipes for my face. So my dirty water underneath my sink hasn't been getting full at all, which is a good thing. It's not every day I brush my teeth in front of people, but here we are. It's kind of the real reels here. There's not necessarily a highlight reel. This is just what happens. This vintage water cooler is awesome as far as helping me maintain the water and not letting it all come out like my other faucet does. I can control it and save a lot. When the sink is nasty, it all looks nasty. So this is actually a path in the campground down to the beach that I was told not many people go to. And while I'm not allowed to have Greta on the beach, I was told if I sneak off right here and go down, hasn't been anyone there when the other dog owners have gone down, and it may be a place where I can just let her run a little bit. Helps her poop and gets her energy out. There is a guy fishing, but he doesn't seem bothered. I can walk her as much as I want during the day, but it's like she doesn't get what she needs until I just let her really run and get some steam out. And she's so happy. Grazie. I'm not sure if this is just where they put the old ships that come to die or what, but they're all lined up. Very weird. There's the fishing pier over there to the state park. I'm walking down through the tents because they're not your typical hike-in tent sites. You can actually drive back here, and they're huge. It was very, very quiet. Like you just heard a dog bark randomly here and there, but otherwise it was so quiet. Everyone's pretty spaced out, and they have a lot of room. Can't say that's the way I necessarily want to camp. It has its moments, but I'm spoiled now, I guess. But I really liked the idea of it, especially when you're in a van. I could pull it back here and then still have all this space to maybe spread out my own things with more people. So if I haven't told you yet, I am in the Peak, if I'm saying that right, State Park in Cape Charles, Virginia. And I would say that the campground itself, for the like hookups for electric and water and such, it's not entirely much more than a parking lot. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles of like, that's whistles, of a KOA or what have you. But for this type of event where there's a bunch of people gathering, it's actually pretty, it's more than sufficient. Like, I think it kind of works well for a group, because there isn't a lot of chaos going on otherwise, unless you want that chaos. So I brought my makeup bag and my hair straightener, but I'm a little bit worried, like my hair needs to be any greasier. I'm a little bit worried of plugging my straightener into my Blue Eddy, because although I'm fairly sure it's a big enough inverter and it's got the shore power, I'm a little bit worried. I'm sure there's a fuse in there somewhere that I can blow, and I'm not looking to find out and having an issue with electrical with 1 day left. So I'm just not going to straighten my hair. Anyway, I'm just going to continue to use my hat and just, you know, rock the goodness of hat life. When you wear a hat and kind of look weird all day long in my camping clothes, I gotta put a little bit of makeup on so I look kind of alright. Nothing crazy. I cannot see what I'm doing. I was probably better off before I did this. Oh well. So I also realized when I use my toilet, which this is the first time I'm using my toilet, usually I use my pee funnel because I felt like it was easier to dump, you know, fairly quietly and such without looking like you're carrying a big suitcase of pee. I just dumped my bath water into my toilet because it's only urine and then dirty water, and I use an organic soap, but even still, it's nice to not put it in the ground. I put it in the toilet, which I had plenty of room still for, and then that went in the dumping station place. So it could not have been much easier than that, and I was super thrilled. It was crazy crazy windy, and I didn't get splashed. I wore my gloves. It all went well. I'm pretty pleased. I'm just gonna change my clothes, and then I'm pretty much ready for the day. So one thing I did do this morning for the tour that's coming up is I took down my bug screen here. I had a basket hanging here with my little hand towels on it, which I've taken down because it's kind of in the way. It just didn't look super clean. So I took those little towels and I put them in my box here. And I also took another little box that I had already and put my little toiletries in it specifically, so that when I am showering, I can take this out and put it over near my shower if I want to. Although this is really after shower things, but it also prevents them from jiggling as I drive. Works well, or I think it will. So I sat down earlier with my coffee. Today, the only plan I'm aware of, at 10:30, there is a camper tour that all the ladies are going to walk around and look at each other's tents, campers, vans, buses, which I'm pretty excited about because it's nice to have people look at yours because we spent so much time on our rigs, but I also love to see other people's and get ideas. So that's on the agenda for today. There's also a costume contest that's going to be happening. I didn't bring a costume. Greta and I have already been around checking out the full campground, the tent sites and things like that. Look how cute she is. Hi, Greta. So I had mentioned on a previous video that the heater is pretty, well, I fear that it's loud outside. So I thought I would follow up and let you hear what it sounds like inside versus outside. It's running now. And that's not a bad sound. It's actually like a nice white noise at night. It doesn't bother me at all. I will go outside and let you hear what it sounds like out there. which maybe in the day when other noises are happening, it's not bad. But at night here, when it's pitch black and you don't hear a sound from anyone else, and there's tent campers nearby, I'm a lot more cognizant of the noise. And now I'm right outside the van. I am right where the exhaust for that heater comes out. It's kind of loud, right? So it's the afternoon of day 3. I just got back from lunch. I did, in fact, just move my camper spot. I was at A3, which is at the front of the first row, and everyone else is at the back of the first row. And someone, I think I'd said, someone had left yesterday. And initially I thought, no, I won't move because for whatever reason I was put here. I'm going to go with it. But as more people came in, I think just all the people that I want to be next to, they're down here and I don't want to walk back and forth. So camper tour, we went to lunch. We went back to the place we had lunch yesterday at the Shanty, which I thought yesterday it was just me that didn't have the best meal there, but as it turns out, a few other people felt the same, and today it wasn't great, but I went for the company and that was most important to me. So that all worked out, and tonight we are going to a brewery. I was going to stay back and not go because of the dog, but in fact I think I'm going to go and just leave her in the van just to be with everybody. Yeah, I'm about to sip some coffee and relax for a little bit until dinner at 5 or 6 o'clock. So it's been like 20-mile-per-hour winds since I have been in Virginia these past few days, and today it stopped. It's cool, but there's no wind. However, the wind kept the bugs away because suddenly I was just hooking up my van after coming back from dinner and the bugs are insane. So that's going to be fun tonight. And I actually have my little bottles of wine I'm about to pour out and go to the campfire. Woo! It's my cab. So dinner at the brewery was nice. I had a salad because I could definitely use some vegetables in my life, and it was very good. And then afterwards, a handful or two of the sisters on the fly group got together for a campfire at the organizers' camp spot. I love campfires. Like, that was the only event planned. That would be fabulous. And I just love it. It was great conversation. And overall, this weekend, or these 4 days, 3 or 4 days, was absolutely what I needed it to be and what I had definitely hoped it to be. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad. They're such fabulous people. And I think I really clicked with a few people right off the bat, and I didn't think I would then like have such great connections with others either. And there's so many, how many, I don't know, 20 of us here or something, and oh, everyone is so awesome. There are no words for how excited I am. And I'm not entirely sure how I can go back to camping by myself now, just because it's nice to hang by myself when I want to and know that I can pop my head out of the van and that there's one of any number of the 20 that are just having coffee outside their camper. That's probably spoiled me. I'm very pleased. This is the last night. We leave, or I guess checkout's at 1, so there's a good amount of the morning left, and I'm just going to take my time with it. But this is it, and I'm so thankful.